Today, we have a geometry challenge. So, can you solve this geometry challenge? Here's the question. Given this circle, now let's draw a chord like this and drop a perpendicular segment like this. Now this segment measures 4 units. And from this point to the end point of this circle, this is 2 units. And from this point to the other end point, this is 22 units. Now the question, what is the length of the diameter of this circle? Now pause this video right now and see if you can answer this question, because I will show you the answer and the solution in 3, 2, 1. Alright, the answer to this question, the length of the diameter of the circle simply equal to 25 units. Now the question is, how do we get 25 units? And on this video, I will show you 2 methods to answer this question. So the first one is by using the PCT, or what we call the perpendicular chord theorem. Now the second is of course our favorite. When we have a geometry problem, we have the Pythagorean theorem. So let's begin with our first solution using the perpendicular chord theorem. And the question is, what is perpendicular chord theorem? Here it is. If we have 2 perpendicular chords like this, then we can say, or we can use this identity, 4r squared equals a squared plus b squared plus c squared plus d squared. And we will have a proof of this concept or this identity on our YouTube channel. And also, I will put the link on the description of this video. So, we have 2 perpendicular chords. And to do that, we need to extend this segment measures 4 units like this. And let's call this as x. Now, for us to know the value of this x, we will use what we call the chord-chord power theorem. So when we have 2 chords intersect, then multiply both parts of the chords together, then set them equal. In this figure, we can say that the product of the segment yw times yn equals the product of the segments iy and yd. Now going back to our figure, we can say that 4 times x equals 2 times 22, which is 2 times 22 equals 44. Now divide both sides by 4, we get that x equals 11. Now we now have the value of this segment, which is equal to 11 units. So we can use the PCT, or the perpendicular chord theorem. So we can say that 4r squared equals 2 squared plus 4 squared plus 11 squared plus 22 squared. Now simplify this. We have 4r squared equals 4 plus 16 plus 121 plus 484. We have 625. And we want to solve for the value of r. Now divide both sides by 4. We get r squared equals 625 over 4. We get the square root on both sides. Sure enough, r is positive, so r equals 25 over 2. That is the length of the radius of the circle, but we want the diameter, and we know the diameter is twice its radius. And we know the radius, this is 25 over 2. Therefore, the length of the diameter simply equal to 25. And this is our answer to this question. So using the perpendicular chord theorem. Now, how about the Pythagorean theorem? So let's begin. Starting on this figure, what we're going to do is to use the symmetry of our circle. So what we're going to do is to create another segment on the other side of this chord, like this. And now notice, this segment is not anymore 22 because we have 2 units right over here. So this segment measures 22 minus 2, or simply equal to 20 units. And now, what we're going to do is to connect this endpoint to this endpoint, or we need to create a small rectangle on the top like this. Since it is a rectangle, this segment right over here on the top, we can say that this is also equal to 20 units. And this segment right over here, this chord rather, is the combination of 4 and 11, and this is equivalent to just 15 units. Now let's focus on these 2 blue chords like this. And from here, take note, when we have a right angle inside our circle and we connect those 2 endpoints, we can assure that we have the diameter of this circle because this measures exactly 180 degrees. And this is what we want to find. So let's call this as d. Now, using Pythagorean theorem, we can solve for the value of d. So we have d squared equals 15 squared plus 20 squared. Now, 15 squared is 225 and 20 squared is 400. Adding these two together, we have 625. Get the square root on both sides to find the value of d. Sure enough, we get d equals 25 units. And that is our answer to this question. Therefore, using two different methods, perpendicular chord theorem and the Pythagorean theorem, we get that the length of the diameter of this circle simply equal to 25 units. And of course, before we end this video, let's have an extra challenge. In this same figure, what we're going to do is to find the length of the segment y. And where's the segment y? From the center of the circle to this intersection point. And now from here, let's see how will you get the length of this segment y. And as always, we are done.